Alright, we just took a ride with the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad, and if you want to know everything there is to know about taking one of these trips, stay tuned. That starts right now. Hey everyone, Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here, coming to you from Garibaldi, Oregon today, which is on the northern Oregon coast. If you're new to this channel, living on the Oregon coast, we show you what it's like to eat, sleep, play, work, all the pros and cons of living on the Oregon coast. And in this case, this is a special sort of holiday Christmas themed video where we take a ride with the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad. And the theme of the ride is the Candy Cane Express. So hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, make sure you get notified each time we drop a new video. We get people reaching out to us all the time that want to live or move somewhere along the Oregon coast, and we always love to hear from you. You can always give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us an email, or even click the link below in the description if you want to schedule a Zoom with us. No matter how you get in touch with us, if you want to move somewhere along the Oregon coast, we've got your back. All right, now so on to the actual train ride. There's going to be some things that you want to know when you book one of these train rides. First, when you go online, there's a couple of different train rides. As I mentioned, this was the Candy Cane Express. I think it might be kind of similar to the Polar Express, or it's kind of like a similar theme or format. I think some people had to get away from using that name, the Polar Express, for trademark reasons. So Candy Cane Express, Polar Express, I think it's very similar. There's a theme where there's hot chocolate and cookies that get passed around and all that stuff. All right, but here's what you really want to start with and what you're going to need to know when you go to that website. As far as the holidays go, they do also have another holiday train ride that they offer, which is the Rockaway Beach Christmas tree lighting excursion. So this trip starts in Garibaldi. It's about a 10-mile round trip, so it's about 5 miles up the coast to Rockaway Beach. Now, when you're booking this trip, you're going to see online, and you can see from the graphic here, this is just a screenshot from the website, where you're going to choose your seats. There's a few things that you're going to want to know when you're choosing your seat. Now, the first thing is going to be, you can see on the graphic that you've got an east side and a west side. Now, the west side is going to face the coast, and the east side is going to face the 101 and face the hills. You'll see parts of town on both sides, Rockaway Beach and Garibaldi, but as far as the ocean, being on the ocean side, you're going to want to be on the west side. If you want to be more on the other side, on the 101 side, you'll want to be on the east-facing side. And here's a key point to that, because I didn't know, and I had a few people ask me actually since I took this trip, does the train turn around, or is there a way for the train to turn around? And the answer is no. So the train goes one way north from Garibaldi to Rockaway Beach, and when it gets there, it comes back the same way. So if your ticket is on the west side, you're going to stay on the west side the whole time. So that's kind of a key point if you want to have a certain vantage point or a certain viewpoint when you're choosing your seats. All right, the next thing, these seats, it is very tight. Think like airline seating. You're definitely, I suppose I haven't been on too many trains, so I don't have too much to compare with, but you definitely want to prepare for it being tight. We had 4 people, one of those being a baby, and probably didn't need to necessarily buy a seat for the baby, but we did anyways just to make sure we had enough room. And the train itself, on the trip I took, was maybe 50, 60, 70% capacity, so the train wasn't totally booked, so there was some room for people to kind of move around. But if it had been booked, you definitely want to plan for tight accommodations. There was a few people, there was one person that I had to kind of move some tables and chairs around because they had a walker that they were trying to get through one of the aisles, and it was very, very tight for them to do so. And then you can imagine if you have to sit down and you have anything extra with you, whether it's a baby bag or a walker or something like that, there's not a ton of space. So definitely plan accordingly that your space is going to be pretty limited. Now, as far as the trip itself goes, the train, like I said, it's a 10-mile round trip, so it's 5 miles up the coast and then 5 miles back down. The train itself feels like it's going 5, 6, 7, 8 miles per hour the whole time, so it's going really slow. So if you want to make some videos or take a picture or really be able to enjoy the scenery, you'll be able to definitely do that. It says the trip is about an hour. It says 1 hour on the website. I think it took us closer to an hour and a half to go down and back. So a little bit longer than it was listed on the website. It was probably a good amount of time, especially if you have small children. They kind of start to get antsy after that like hour mark. So I probably figure for about an hour and a half round trip. Now I walked through all the cars you're gonna see on the website. I think there's like 4 different cars that you can choose from. They're all pretty similar. They all kind of had like the decorations were all a little bit different, but everything was pretty similar. I sat in the car that has the bar, which when you're leaving and heading north and starting the trip, you're at the very back. When you're coming home, that would put you at the very front. The bar wasn't actually open, so just so you know, there's not gonna be somebody that's available there to wait on people or to serve drinks. But I did sit in the car with the bar. Other than that, all the cars appear to be pretty similar as far as like your seating and your space and all that. They're just decorated slightly differently. So throughout this trip, all of the employees that we encountered were great, and they were dressed up sort of like I don't know, as elves or Santa's helpers or some, you know, some sort of like theme like that. And everybody was really nice and accommodating. Mrs. Claus, actually, I think our car was last for Santa Claus to come by. So they start with actually hot chocolate and cookies. There's a few carts that come by. Each person can get a hot chocolate and a cookie. The cookies were like just like a sugar cookie, kind of like you see in the video there. And then they also hand you a little postcard to write to Santa. And so if you've got kids and you want to have some fun and have your kids kind of write out that postcard, towards the end of the trip, Santa comes around and meets with all the kids. And like I said, we were at the end cart, the car in the back, so I think he started at the very front. He came to us last, and Mrs. Claus kind of made her rounds too, along with Santa, and it looked like he really took his time too. So really spent some time with the kids, and I'm sure all the kids enjoyed it. My kid did as well when he got to us. So it was really nice to see all the staff really kind of making a great trip for all the passengers and kind of making it great for the kids as well.
Merry Christmas.
Can you say Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas. Good job.
Oh, is this for me?
Yep.
All right.
You tell Santa what you want for Christmas?
A long track. A long
A
track.
long track. Oh.
Track.
Landon likes trains, huh?
Well, you must be having a lot of fun here today then.
Now, as far as what you're going to actually see, as you can kind of see on the map, the railroad tracks parallel the 101. So you're frankly not seeing a whole lot that you wouldn't necessarily see kind of just driving up and down the coast. But like I mentioned, you are going at a very slow pace, 5, 6, 7 miles an hour. So you just barely feel like you're beyond creeping. So you're going pretty slow. So it gives you a chance to kind of take a look around, look out at the coast, look at people fishing, look at people, you know, just doing whatever, walking through town. Like I said, you start in Garibaldi and then you end in Rockaway Beach. Right there, so you kind of go through town, and I think that's probably where the Christmas tree lighting train goes as well too, because where you stop in Rockaway Beach, there's a train car right there that's kind of decorated for Christmas, and that's where you start your trip back. All in all, fun little trip. Like I said, an hour and a half is probably a good amount of time for this trip. It might kind of feel a little bit long at that pace. Anything beyond that. So for something kind of slower paced, if you've got kids, or you know, maybe you just want to do something a little bit slower paced, it's a great thing to do. We went on a Sunday afternoon, and like I mentioned, it was probably 50, 60, 70% full, so it wasn't too crowded, wasn't too crazy. It was just a nice kind of laid back, enjoyable trip where we could kind of sit back and check out the towns and check out the coast and then you know, get to see Santa as well. So I definitely recommend the trip. We'll probably take one of the other trips at some point as well. All right, and if you want to see more, we'll include a link for the Oregon Scenic Railroad in the description below. All right, so that's everything, everyone. Again, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home along the Oregon coast, or really anywhere in Oregon, you can give us a call or send us a text or shoot us an email. All of the contact information is in the description below. Take care.